Mukam karoti vachalam pungam langayate agrim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenadaranam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaye Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarni Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavatam 6th Canto 4th Chapter Verse 23 Prayers, Hamsa Guhya prayers. Now, before starting the prayers of Daksha, we will have a small introduction, what is happening, where we are. We have completed the prayers until 5th canto. Now we are entering into 6th canto through the prayers of Daksha. Daksha came in previously also, that is in 3rd or 4th canto, where he offended Lord Shiva. Though Daksha is a Vaishnava, he hosts a big position. Prajapati means he is the progenitors, who increase the population of in the universe. Maybe one of the creator, means sub-creators. The main creator is Krishna, of course, the Lord Vishnu, and Brahma is the creator god. Then there are so many Prajapatis like Daksha who increase the populations in the universe. Okay. So Prajapati Daksha offended Lord Shiva. So then his head was cut off, and he had the head of a goat. Then later, after that birth, that was in the first Manu. There are 14 Manus in this universe, means they come. In one yuga, there are 14 Manus come. So he was in that first Manu's period. Then the next he came in the 6th Manu's period. Okay. So, but Daksha though he is Vaishnava, but because he's not a pure, because he was not a pure devotee, he makes offenses after offenses against devotees, and that entangles him in the material world. Now you see, first time he offended Lord Shiva, and second he offended Narada Muni. So, but still, he is a devotee, but not a pure devotee. That much is our understanding about Daksha. So, because of him, his daughter Sati left the body. Then later he was punished. All these things happened. Now he was given again the same post. Many times we wonder, even in ISKCON, when we see that when some leaders, they make mistakes, we are wondering why these people are here in this position. We don't know. 1 minute. We don't know the reason why they are leaders, because we see externally, but they have their capability, they have their what do you say, eligibility to become a leader. So definitely Daksha has some qualification. That's why he was given the power, he was given the position. But still, personally, like, he is generally good, but in the case of self-realization, he is not that much successful. That we have to understand that. Though he went up to the stage of Prajapati. 1 minute. So, Prajapati Daksha, again started. Please excuse me. Sorry, the children, no, they make so much noise. So I had to go and tell them. So Prajapati Daksha, he started praying now, because it's now here what is happening. Prajapati Daksha is going to create. Means he is going to increase the population of the universe. For that, he need to pray. So before this, how Daksha took his second birth, that is also another story. There is a king who is called as Prachinbarhis, and he had 10 sons who are called as Prechetas. These Prechetas are very good devotees. That prayer also we saw. That is where they were Rudra Gita. They were doing tapasya, and Lord Shiva personally came to help them to guide them. So the Prechetas, they after completing their meditation or tapasya, and they came back to the world, like they were meditating somewhere, and when they come back, they could see the whole world is filled with lots of trees and plants. So they wanted to burn everything. When they started burning the trees, then the moon god appeared there, and he told Soma, please don't burn the trees. Instead, the tree as given, the tree personified, has given a girl called Marisha. Please marry her, and then you rule the whole universe. That's what the direction given to Prechetas. So that girl, Marisha, got married to the 10 Prechetas. In the whole universal history, there are only two ladies allowed to marry more than one. These two are very exceptional. One is Draupadi, and another is Precheta's wife Marisha. So this Marisha gave birth to Daksha. So Daksha's second birth happened like this. So now Daksha is going to increase the population. So for that, he is praying. Yeah, definitely he is a devotee, mixed devotee. That's why Krishna put him in a higher position. According to our desire, is there within the heart, right? According to our desire, our life will be there. Whatever we get in our life is definitely according to our desire. According to our desire means according to our activities which we have performed previously also. And these two combinedly gives us the results. Okay. So Prajapati Daksha had the desire to rule or to become a leader, like that. So he performed activities accordingly, and he had the pious activities also. He is a devotee also. So that resulted like this. So now Prajapati Daksha is reciting these Hamsa Guhya prayers. These prayers are not his own prayers. Like we see in the prayers of Bhagavatam, like Bhishma Dev prayed, Arjuna prayed, Mother Kunti, Queen Kunti prayed. All these prayers are their own prayers. But here, Prajapati Daksha took the prayers from Vedic literatures. So prayers can be copied. Like in material world, if we copy, we don't have value. If we imitate something, then it is not valued. We should invent something from our brain or like that. But as far as prayers are concerned, spiritual life is concerned, if we copy, nothing is bad about it. It is nice. The result which the original prayer got, the same result, the person who recite with sincerity, according to their sincerity, they get the reward. So now Prajapati Daksha prayed this, recited this Hamsa Guhya prayers, and Lord definitely got pleased. Yeah, you see. So now we will take up the verse 23. I found it a little bit very, very technical. Though it is like other prayers are easy to understand and other things. So it took a lot of time for me to prepare anyway. So I could prepare only few verses. So that much we will go. We will see next week. So the first prayer says, Sri Prajapati Uvacha. Sri Prajapati Daksha said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to the illusory energy and the physical categories it produces, what it means. So the Lord is above, is transcendental to the illusory energy, means Maya. That energy is Lord's energy only. So how to understand this? So when he creates, he is not under the creation. Like a lawmaker is there. If somebody makes the law, if somebody is ruling a country, he makes the law for the citizens. But that law doesn't apply to the king. Right? So similarly, Lord's energy is Maya. So he is not under it. He is the controller of it. Also, Maya produces so many things. And he is not under. So here it is said, the physical categories of it produces. Whatever the illusory energy, the Maya produces, Lord is not affected by that because it is his own creation, his own energy. He possesses the potency for unfailing knowledge and supreme willpower. So these things, his unfailing knowledge means what? Knowledge we have. What is our knowledge? We have tiny brain. In that tiny brain, we memorize. Our memory is very weak. We remember something, we don't remember something. Sometimes our intelligence doesn't work. So this is our knowledge. You may see so many great knowledgeable person materially, but they may be knowledgeable in one area. For this, I will give you one example. Some may be very, very extraordinary. If you see the history of life history of Ramanuja, not the Saint Ramanujacharya. There was one mathematician in Tamil Nadu, who in India, who was very, very talented. You give any calculation, he will do it like that. He is the one who gave formulas for all the mathematical calculations. He was genius, not ordinary person, genius. The problem with him was he wanted to from the small age, he could do all calculation, very, very, very expert. But when he entered college, he couldn't pass through other subjects. The college authorities were annoyed. They said that you are very good in mathematics, but other subjects are also needed. But somehow his extraordinary intelligence in mathematics was used by British people. He was called by London some mathematicians, and he was awarded. He was given recognition. But he left his body very quickly because of many other reasons. But still, in the mathematical field, his name is given. He is very shining star of that field. Here, the point why I mention about Ramanuja is that he is a human being and he had knowledge in one area, not in everything. The knowledge of the Lord is called unfailing knowledge. It's always great. It is beyond our understanding. The Lord's knowledge is beyond our understanding. He remembers everything. He knows everything. He is the one who gave you the knowledge. He is the origin of knowledge. So that is unfailing knowledge and supreme willpower. And he is the controller of the living entities on the illusory energy. So he is the controller of everything, everyone, and also illusory energy. So the conditioned souls who have accepted this material manifestation as everything cannot see him. For he is above the evidence of experimental knowledge. So people, the scientists and other people, they want to see everything. They want to prove. That cannot be done with the Lord. Like you cannot measure, oh, God is this much. God is this much. He is like this. You cannot, he is beyond measurement, beyond calculation, beyond experiment. By experiment, we cannot know him. He is beyond experiment. So He is unseen. That's why he is called as unseen. Adrishta Damane. Adrishta, we cannot see him by with our material senses. Self-evident and self-sufficient. He is not caused by any superior cause. He doesn't have any cause. Anadir Anand, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sharva Karana Karanam. He doesn't have any cause. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So this prayer is especially for the atheist, we can say, because why atheist? If they understand these points, then they cannot remain as atheist. How God is so powerful, how God is so supreme, how he is great, 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 and his greatness is unlimited. This unlimitedness we cannot even perceive, we cannot speak about that unlimitedness, that much unlimitedness. So the points here in this verse, Daksha is saying that he is transcendental, his knowledge is real knowledge, and he is the controller, powerful controller. He is unseen because we cannot see with our materialistic senses, one cannot perceive him. He is unseen. He is self-manifest. The self-manifest means what? He can survive any situation. He is there always. He is existing in his own spiritual potency. No, we are all existing on the Lord's mercy, but he exists in his own spiritual potency. So Prabhupada is writing that he is not perceivable by the conditioned souls who are accustomed to material vision and cannot understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead exists in his own abode. This many non-devotees, atheists, or Mayavadis, or whatever, they understand that there is a supreme power, but they don't understand that Krishna is Supreme Lord, and they don't understand that he has his own abode. So, which is beyond our vision, beyond that vision. Even if the materialistic person could count all the atoms in this universe, some materialistic person can be given that strength to count all the materialistic atoms in the universe, he would still be unable to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what we can understand, that there are so many scientists who have invented so many things. We ordinary people, by seeing the computer, by seeing the aeroplane, by seeing the jet, this and that, we are amazed how by seeing the big buildings, so many things the human beings are performing. That's by the mercy of the Lord. They may do a wonderful act within this universe, but still they may not be able, they are unable, still they are unable to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why Prabhupada is quoting on Brahma Samhita prayer. Pantastu koti satavatsra samprabhagamyo vayur atapi manaso muni pungavanam so api asti yat prabhada chimni avichintya tatve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The conditioned souls may try to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead for many billions of years through their mental speculative processes, traveling at the speed of mind or the wind, but still the absolute truth will remain inconceivable to them, because a materialistic person cannot measure the length and breadth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's unlimited existence. See, one can travel in the speed of mind. The speed of mind is greater than the speed of wind. Wind blows, the speed we know. But the mind speed is even more great. Mind means instant. Instantly we are there. Mind is very speed than the wind. So that we also see in the life of Lord Parashuram. We read in 9th canto that Lord Parashuram was a fighter, right? Warrior. He killed the Kshatriyas, the bad elements, 21 times in this universe, because he wanted to eliminate the bad elements from the He wanted to remove the burden of Mother Earth. So he fought in the speed of mind and wind. Sometimes wind speed is less. He worked, he was killing in the speed of mind. That means you imagine the power of Lord Parashuram. So one may even travel in that speed, but still unable to see the Supreme Lord, unable to understand the Supreme Lord. It's not easy. If the absolute truth is beyond measurement, one may ask, how can we realize him? He is beyond measurements, definitely. How we can, because he is Swayambhuva. Means he is existing, whether you understand or not, he is existing. The answer is given here by the word Swayambhu, Swayambhuva. One may understand him or not, but nevertheless he is existing in his own spiritual potency. Understanding him is not like understanding in this material world some other things. People demand, the atheists demand, we want to understand Lord, we want to understand Lord. That is not possible. You shout like that and die. The Yamaraja will come and take you, that's all. So this prayer, if the non-devotees or if the atheist, they understand, it will be useful. That much it is proving that Lord is not under your control. They ask, they challenge the non-devotees and the atheists, they challenge, he is beyond their challenge. He doesn't even bother. For him, they are like dust particles, even lesser than a dust particle, all these great persons. But Lord is very merciful. Even somebody is a non-devotee, if somebody is an atheist, somebody is a Mayavadi, somebody is an offender, he supports them. That is his greatness. He, according to their desire, according to their endeavors, according to their karmic reaction, he awards them. So sometimes we get the question, no, they are non-devotees, why they are rich? They are demons, why they are given so much facilities? Right? This question arises. But the Lord is very merciful. He doesn't mind. You see how great he is. So the next verse 24, as the sense objects are also called as tanmatras. Okay? Form, taste, touch, smell, and sound cannot understand how the senses perceive them. So the conditioned soul, although residing in his body, along with the super soul, cannot understand how the supreme spiritual person, the master of this material creation, directs his senses. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that supreme person who is the supreme controller. So this is also a technical verse to understand. See, we have sense objects. What are the sense objects? Sound, smell, touch, taste, form. Right? These are all sense objects. These sense objects, they don't know, they cannot perceive how the senses are working. The sense objects, they don't know how the senses are working. The human being, similarly, in the human body, in any body, any living entity's body, there are two persons. One is that Jiva, another is super soul. The Jiva is eating, enjoying, going here and acting. That we have an Upanishad's sloka verse saying that there are two individuals, there are two birds in a tree, two individuals in the body, and one is enjoying the material life, the other one is just an observer and facilitates whatever the other bird needs, facilitates the living entity needs. That means Lord is there within every living entity, and he is supplying whatever needed for that jiva, but he is just an observer. That's all. Without his existence, without the support of the Lord, the jiva cannot do anything. But he gives him whatever needed, but he is just an observer. But this jiva cannot understand the super soul. For this, Madhvacharya quotes one more verse from Skanda Purana to understand even more better. See, a layman is working in a factory or big concern. He knows he's only his supervisor. He doesn't know who is the owner of that big concern, big company or big factory, whatever. It's a big organization. He's just a layman in the lower level, lower category. He doesn't know who is his supreme authority, who is the owner, because the laborers or the lower category workers, they are not allowed to see the supreme, the director of the or the owner of that company, right? It happens. So the seniors or the higher positions, they go and meet him and comes with the instructions. Similarly, the ordinary jivas, the conditioned souls, cannot see the supreme friend sitting within their bodies. So now Prajapati Daksha is praying to that Supreme Lord, and he is paying his obeisances to that Supreme Lord. So undoubtedly Prajapati Daksha is submissive to the Lord's supremacy, though he commits offenses time to time. But he understands the philosophy. He knows that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He doesn't know how to deal. Many devotees also make this mistake, that they are okay with the Lord, but they are not okay with the other living entities and okay with the Vaishnava devotees. That is very, 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 very important. That how do we deal with other devotees? Krishna clearly says that I don't like my own devotees. I like my devotees' devotees. That's why we say often that we are dasanu, 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 das. Nothing is direct. He is a devotee. He is directly praying to the Lord. But if he pleases the same Daksha, if he would have pleased Lord Shiva or Narada Muni, then he would have went back home, back to Godhead very quickly, rather remaining here for many, many millions and millions of years, being a powerful person, Prajapati. Better, as we devotees, we pray that we don't want to live in this material world and do all these things. Go back home, back to Godhead. We don't want positions in this material world, however great may be, because he is producing. He is creator. He is increasing the population of the universe. He's not an ordinary person. Daksha is not an ordinary person. But before the in the vision of spiritual, in the spiritual vision, he is nothing. Right? This is not needed to go back home, back to God, but still Krishna is reciprocating with him because he wanted that. So for that, he is giving him that. So the next verse, 25th verse. Because they are only matter, the body, the life airs, the external and internal senses, the five gross elements, the subtle sense objects cannot know their own nature, the nature of the other senses, or the nature of their controllers. But the living being, because of his spiritual nature, can know his body, the life airs, the senses, the elements, and the sense objects, and he can also know the three qualities that form their roots. Nevertheless, although the living being is completely aware of them, he is unable to see the Supreme Being who is omniscient and unlimited. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So, how to understand this? We have this 24 elements. The body is made of 24 elements. All these working senses, knowledge acquiring senses, five major elements, and three subtle elements. But the subtle body, the gross body, all these things are explained here. So this They don't know how they are existing. They cannot understand what they are, like these senses. But the person who possesses these can understand. The jiva. The jiva can understand, I have life air, I have senses, this body is made of 5 gross elements, and we have subtle elements. So all these things, the living entity, the person knows. They may know this, but they may not know the supreme soul, super controller, who is there within their heart. Right? So these 24 elements we will see in detail some other time. If you don't know, it is coming in Bhagavad Gita also. So the body is made of all these elements, right? 24 elements. So all these elements, they don't understand. Where is the base? They also, the person, the jiva, can also understand. There are three qualities. What are the 3 qualities? Gunas. It is said that 3 gunas: sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. Mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. These elements, these 24 elements, they form their roots in this in this 3 qualities. But still they don't know, they don't understand how they are acting. But the living entity know all these things. But what they don't know, the super soul within their body. Every living entity, super soul is there. Lord is there. Without his power, without his support, the jiva, the living entity cannot do anything. So the Lord is there from the day one of his life. Okay. Verse 26, we will go or not, we'll see. Yeah, from 26 we will see later. Now I have done up to 23, 24, 25, 3 verses. I'll stop with this. If you have any doubts in these 3 prayers, in these 3 verses, please ask. Or general doubts are also welcome. We'll continue next week. From 26 we will go next week. Any doubts? Anuragini?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. No doubts?
Starting 23, I don't know. No, 23, Mataji. 23. Initially, you were telling about the 23rd sloka started. That alone, I want to know better.
No, I will make a chart and send it to you.
Yeah, that is literally not understandable. And
See, there are 5 main elements. What are the 5 main elements? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Earth, water, fire, air, sky, ether. Sky is ether. These are all the five major elements. Okay. And then we have 5 working senses. 5 knowledge acquiring senses. 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Ears, nose, tongue, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, taste for taste, and touch senses. These five senses, they are for knowledge acquiring. And we have 5 working senses. They are, we have hands, legs, genitals, and what is the other one? Anus, and see, hands, legs, genitals, 2 more. Saranya? The private body and the evacuation parts. These are all the
Rectum,
5.
tongue.
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 Rectum and tongue.
Tongue.
So all these are working senses. Five knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, 5 sense objects. 5 sense objects are sound, taste, touch, smell, and form. These are all the 5 sense objects. Okay, how many we have done? 20 we have done. Now the 4 is mind, intelligence, false ego, and pradhan, means the collection, consciousness, the full collective mahat tattva, it is said, collection of everything. These are all the 24 elements. Okay, I will send as a brief notes in the group. Understood?
Okay, Mataji. But
Gross and
here
subtle.
Mataji actually he's praying to Paramatma.
Huh?
He's praying to Paramatma, right, Mataji?
Who is praying to Paramatma?
Daksha.
No, he is praying to the Supreme Lord only, but he is describing him.
Glorifying him.
Glorifying him. He is not praying to Paramatma. He is praying to the Supreme Lord. See, the Paramatma realization and Brahman realization.
Glorifying Mataji. What situation he is glorifying? Because he taking the goat head off.
No, that is over. The goat head pastime is over. He died in that and then took his birth again as the son of Marisa and Prechetas. I told you the story, no?
Marisha and Pratesha. Okay.
Prechetas. Marisha is one lady, 10 husbands. And their combination produced Daksha. This is the second birth. First birth is over. That goat head, that is gone. And then he took birth again in this material world as Prajapati. Again, Daksha only. The name is also Daksha. But here, he is like a powerful, normal living, powerful person, like a king. Prajapati means Devatas, demigods. So here he is praying before creation. Before he has to get married, and he will have a wife. Will have a powerful wife, and they produce lots of demigods and other creations. That is explained here. He will have sons, but those sons will be made into devotees. So that's why he curses Narad Muni again. Second offense. Because the Lord told him to produce more population, but the populations were made into brahmacharis. So he got very upset with his service is disturbed. So that he should understand that this is the arrangement of the Lord that he lacks. So he thought my service is stopped by this Narad Muni. So he curses Narad Muni that he cannot stay in any place more than 3 days. Narad Muni accepts this and go. Because if he continues to stay, then Narad Muni can make anyone into pure devotee. Right? That's why this time he cursed Narad Muni. And still he continued his service and he produces only women, girls, not boys. So that they can get married and do the service like that. 10,000, 10,000. 2 sets of his sons were, they became brahmacharis and they powerfully prayed to the Lord and went back home, back to Godhead. So Narad Muni's mood is, any jiva, they should become pure devotee, not devotee. But Daksha is a devotee, but he is not pure devotee. There is a lot of difference between devotee and pure devotee. The devotion we do, we have to be very careful. The devotion which we do will end up in heavenly planets. So that is, I always pray that better I go to hell than to heaven. Because, heaven means we will forget. We will do more offense like Daksha. has position, power, beauty, long life, then it is very unfortunate condition. You see any rich people, any beautiful people, any knowledgeable people, they hardly pray like us. It's better to be simple without anything, suffering, because we depend on Krishna. We understand the supremacy of Krishna in everything of our life. But these people, the persons who have money, power, they totally forget God. Totally. You see any rich man, any powerful politician, they don't have time also. They run here and there, here and there, here and there. Like dogs. If you observe dogs, no? Have you seen dogs? Indian dogs, Camila maybe. They run, 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 run. Where they run? We don't know. They run. So in Tamil, we have a beautiful proverb that the dog doesn't have work to do and doesn't have time to stay. It doesn't have time to do anything. It doesn't have work to do. So it's a beautiful proverb. Similarly, these materialistic people, where they go, where they run around in the cities, in the big cities, if you go in the early morning time or in the evening time, you will see this drama, how the dogs running. Similarly, they run here and there, here and there, here and there. They run, 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 run. So we have to be very careful not to become like Daksha. Don't become Prajapati Daksha. Yeah, some people, some may see the desire. If a jiva has a desire to become Prajapati, Krishna facilitates that. Okay, because I need persons like the Prajapati also, right? So, okay, somebody should do that job, no? Who will do? The jiva which is qualified, and the jiva who is desiring to become Prajapati, they are given the chance. First thing is you need to have a qualification also. To become a demigod, you need to have a qualification. So the point our previous acharyas are saying, that much endeavor, if you put in pure devotional service, you will not come back here. The endeavor to become a Prajapati is very, very difficult. It's more than doing sincere devotional service. So better we remain sincere devotees rather to do many performances like sacrifices, tapasyas, meditations, this and that, to become something in the heavenly planets and waste the life, because it is a human life, it is wasted. So from such candidates, from such great personalities, we learn not to become like them. So in fact, in some verses, scriptures describe that when the demigods, after they become demigods, they lament why we have become demigods. We missed the chance of going back home, back to Godhead. Oh, alas. So they do lament. Oh, what is this? We have become some leaders in this universe. Maybe Prajapati Daksha might have lamented later. Okay. So any other question? Saranya, Ruchira, Kamila?
No, Mataji.
Yeah,
Thank
Ruchira.
you.
No doubts.
No question. Thank
No questions. Understood. Okay. So we will end with this. We'll see you next week. Vancha kalpadarupasa kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
you. Dandavat pranam, Mataji.